Hello everyone and welcome to the Distinct Mastering YouTube channel. My name is Freddie. Today we're going to be talking about the Soundtoys Decapitator. This is an interesting saturation plugin, and if you haven't used it, it's pretty game changing. A lot of people do use this one. So let's jump right into this and get on to decapitating with Soundtoys. Okay, so this is the Decapitator at its default state. I've got one here that I loaded up that's at default and one here that's on my actual bass. I'm going to go ahead and play you this track without the Decapitator so you can hear what it sounds like. It's on some Stutter House vibes. It's something that I was asked to make, so check this out. Okay, so as you can see, it's pretty cool, but that bass is there, but it's not really in my face, so we're going to use some saturation to get that out. Before we get into using the Decapitator, let's talk about the controls. So, typical Soundtoys stuff, you have your preset menu up at the top, you have a bypass switch, you have your standard information, and a news section here if you need. Then what you have, I'm going to start from the bottom. At the bottom you have these style buttons. Now these represent different styles of hardware that the Soundtoys people were trying to model. The first one is modeling an Ampex unit. The second one is modeling an EMT unit. This third one here is modeling a Neve unit. This is the Thermionic Culture Vulture, which I have the UAD version of that, but this is the Even Harmonics T. And then this adds the pentode of the Thermionic Culture Vulture, which is the odd harmonics. So you get these 5 different style buttons that you can play around with. Let me solo this bass, and what I want to do is I want to turn on the default Decapitator. And I'm going to drive it up. Now notice when I hit up this drive, the output went down. That's because this auto button is on. So just wanted to show you that real quick. If it basically what it's doing is it's auto gaining your drive. And then you have this punish button, which will just add a lot more saturation. Will basically punish your sound, just like it says. You have a low cut here, so you can filter out the lows before it hits the actual saturation. You have a thump here, which will add a little bit of a low end presence wherever this low cut is set. And you have a tone knob here where you can control the darkness or the brightness, and you can kind of shape the characteristics of the tone. And then you have a high cut here, which is actually cutting the highs after the saturation. So it's the output. So if you want to take away some of the fizziness, you can do that right here. And then you have a mix knob, which is handy because if you have some transient sounds and they're getting smashed by the saturation, you could basically just parallel it by turning this down to 50% or getting a good blend so you can get some of those transients back into the mix. And last but not least, you have an attitude VU meter, which an attitude meter. It's not actually the output of the unit, but it's like how much attitude you're aggressively driving this. So let's play it. As you see, if I drive it more, it shows how much attitude I'm giving it. If I punish it. Now, just for the sake of listening to what these sound like, this is the Ampex. Here's the EMT. Now let's go to the Neve. That's the Culture Vulture, Even Harmonics. And the Culture Vulture Odd Harmonics. So that's with the punish button on. Let's turn that back off. And this is what I've got. And if you see I bypass that, that just already adds a whole lot of character and oomph into the track. Let's bring this with the kick. It's adding so much. And see, with the auto, it's controlling the output. Now, if I don't want to cut out so much lows, I can do so. And then maybe if I find that sweet spot and turn up that thump, this bass line is not super subby. It's actually, I had a subbier one an octave below, but it wasn't working well and it was too low, so I went up an octave. And my immediate thing was I layered them and I like that, but it didn't need the layers. It just needs the right type of treatment to it. Listen to that. Before, after. I like that. It's got a little thubbiness. And there we go. You see how I did that? So that's a cool way to use the decapitator on your bass, is finding the parts that need emphasis, driving it up, setting your low cut. I still can get more thump if I want. This is full wet, but maybe I don't want full wet. Now, if I didn't want some of the fizz, which there's not a lot, you could do so. And one knob I forgot to mention is this steep control. This will just make the high cut steeper. You see that? So before, it's what we had, and this is after. Let's see how close I got to what I did before. About the same, and it was the same, almost, just 100% wet. So you could see that I was pretty spot on. We'll go ahead and go with the new one. And see, let's switch the style now. That EMT just really works with this bass. And then you can see okay, that's how you could use Decapitator on bass, but just for fun, we're going to use it on something else. So let's go. Okay, so I've got these three layers here, this square, this pad, and these two pads. They're all pads, basically, and it's making up this whole bus. And what I want to do is I want to saturate these with the Decapitator. This one's cool, but it's adding weird odd harmonics. And you want to be careful with odd harmonics and saturation when you're working with stuff that has musical tones like these. So I think I like the Ampex. I don't need all that low end. I want this to be brighter. So with the auto on, I've auto gained, and what I've got now, I'll probably turn this down a tad. This was before, it's a little darker. It's cool, and it's great. But this just kind of gives it a little bit more air and fizzle into the sound. Maybe that's because I've got this brightness up. Let's take the tone down. And here's before. And then when it gets to the one, I'm going to hit the bypass button so you can hear the after. It just adds a sense of cleanliness to the sound now, and it allows that bass to breathe a little bit better. So, you know, you could use this on all kinds of things. Let's try this on our drum bus. Okay, here we are with my drum bus. I've got a Decapitator thrown on, and let's give it a shot. Full drive. Now, what we're gonna do with this, find a good style. I like this one. We're gonna parallel it, but first, we don't want it to touch the low end. So this is what we had before. Just like that, before, after. I like that. Helps my drums stick out without doing much, you know? Saturated the drums, did a little parallel. That's what I had before. And voila. So the Decapitator is a really cool saturation unit. It'll give you a bunch of different styles all in one. If you don't have a lot of these different plugins or hardware units, go for this one because you're going to get a nice variety of tones in a nice controlled unit. I love the fact that it does have the auto gain. Do note, if you want some output out of the thing, make sure you turn that off. But otherwise, it's great for gain staging and keeping things level matched on the way out. So you just get the benefits of the unit without the additional volume. I hope this video helps you out. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering. If you did enjoy this video, please do hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and that bell notification will keep you up to date. Any questions or comments on the Decapitator, please leave a comment down below, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.